This is the Dreyer Drive podcast, a podcast all about siblings and the people, places, and pop culture that raised us. If you've been here before, thank you for showing up again. If this is your first time listening to the Dreyer Drive podcast, I apologize in advance. I am one of the hosts, Ryan. My sister Jacqueline will jump on here in a second. But first, in today's episode, Jacqueline will tell us all about her dream funeral. I will share a story about haggling with a senior couple in Tokyo in my early 20s. We'll talk a little bit about our family code words, and then we're going to dive into today's main topic, which is the George Lucas, Ron Howard cinematic classic Willow. If you haven't seen it, it is a movie from the late 80s that we were huge fans of when we were kids, and we revisit as adults. And then, of course, we'll wrap up this episode the same way we wrap up every episode on the Dreyer Drive podcast, with an unhinged text message from a family member. Let's do this. I have two little versions, like a little picture of me, a little picture of you, and under mine it says, this is my favorite, "This is you, the director."
Okay.
You are also you are also a performer. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me.
Wearing so many hats. Okay, that's why you're the tech guy, I guess, and I'm not. And that's why I'm the thinking one. That's why I'm the Roy and you're the Walt.
Yes, you are in my shadow.
There we go.
Empower me to live my dreams.
That's my choice. That's my choice to live in the shadow.
No, you are overshadowed by this massive personality. This dreamer on this side. This dreamer. It's been a while. Well, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was going to say, do you think at some point in time there will be a statue dedicated to you?
Yes, Yes, I will be the one that makes it. It'll be in my garden.
I was going to say, yes, I will have one, but it will be in a cemetery.
No, mine will be in my garden, and people will walk by and be like, "Is that?" And they'll just like make guesses about who it might be. Nobody will ever be right because it'll be of me, and nobody would ever guess that I would have a statue of me in my own garden.
One thing that I love to do is plan my own funeral. I don't know why. I just think it's
Speaking of dreamers.
Speaking of dreamers, I'd like to be dead after the time that we've had in the United States of America for the last month. That's the way I'm going. No, I like to think about, but I always, I don't want to be someone who's like, it's a celebration of life, because I don't want that to happen. But I do want little touches that would be like, yeah, Jacqueline would do that. Like I've said before, like I want the food to be served to be McDonald's 100%. Like, just like I want people to buy I wanted to say 50, but that seems like a low amount for how many people I'd like at my funeral. So
all 7 people, we'll just assume it's the same amount of people that listen to this podcast.
Shoot for the stars and say 100 Big Macs. And my second request that my kids definitely know about, because I've reminded them, is like, I think I'd love everybody to come in at, when you walk into a funeral and there's like the programs. I also want there to be like, the Groucho Marx glasses, like they have the glasses and the nose and the mustache attached to it. I want everybody to have to put one on, but as a surprise, when they come to see me in the casket, I'm also going to be wearing one. And so when people walk by, they're just like, "Oh, Jacqueline, so funny." and that's how I want my funeral.
To her dying days. Wait, even when she's dead.
She's committed to the bit till the very end.
And then they close the casket and it's got 2 giant googly eyes on it, and you're like, "Gotcha."
Gotcha again. And then my headstone needs to say committed to the bit to the very end.
And then have all of the sources or all of the reasons why, so that people who are walking by who have no idea who you are or have no context. You know what it is? It just says DryerDrive.com.
You can find out more at DryerDrive.com.
No, it's a QR code. It's a QR code.
I don't think we're far away from having QR codes on headstones. I was at they do like a city celebration to celebrate. We live in a very small town, so they celebrate I guess the founding of the town. I don't even know who, my husband's family founded it. They're the only people who were like, we should live here, I guess.
So are you being for real? Your husband, Justin's family founded?
If you look on the history of our town, it talks about his dad's homestead. It's the Curtis family homestead, and they were one of the people to settle this area. when Justin was like 5 years old.
Did they write the Wikipedia article? They're like, in our homestead, it was a bungalow.
Here in Curtisville. No, but we have this little, like, they do a little parade. It's very
who's there? Are we still talking about your in-laws? They do the parade? My in-laws,
they do the parade. Actually, my mother-in-law started the parade. She founded the parade. I'm not even kidding. So to this day, it's in June. They do a parade. It's right down by our house. And
you don't say. It's near your house where you live, next door to your in-laws.
In a very tiny town where everybody lives next to my in-laws. So we had to go to this celebration afterwards. And it's like how they would do almost like a school carnival where they have like tickets and you buy the tickets and you go do little games for kids. They
guess
have, like,
the number of gumballs.
Yeah, petting zoo, like pretend go fish, like that kind of stuff. And they do like a dinner as well. And I was sitting there and I was eating dinner with one of my friends and Justin came over and I guess I was looking like I was ready to leave and and Justin was like, hey, do you want to leave? Because I wanted to leave like 10 minutes ago. And I was like, that's what's going on your headstone. That would be the perfect headstone. Like, are you ready to leave? Because I was ready to leave 10 minutes ago. So good.
That is.
So I'm like, hang on. I'm going to say it in my notes. Like, hey, Siri, when Justin dies, remind me that I wanted to put this on his headstone.
So you're telling me that the heir to the homestead wanted to leave his own
celebration.
Okay.
He's the king of the celebration. He wears a little crown.
I did Google while you were talking QR code headstone. It's a thing.
Oh boy.
And I'm not joking. I would not joke about this. If there is one thing I do not joke about.
Deadly serious.
It is this. Tombstones going high tech is the headline from CNN in 2012.
Wow.
Which I feel like this is, you and I like to stay really general so we hit the general public with our themes. I think QR codes were really ahead of their time. Like they showed up to the dance 2 decades early. Like they showed up.
Someone would say too early.
Everyone is going to be using these. And it's like 2008, and everyone's like, "I'm sorry, I can't." Is this one of those things where I cross my eyes and I stare at it, and then I get to see the picture?
Which I've never been able to do. Just so you know.
Well, good thing QR codes are out there. En masse.
What was that?
En masse. En masse. En masse.
Unmasked.
Unmasked. Unmasked.
Okay.
Unmasked.
Okay.
How do you say it?
Unmasked.
Unmasked. I said that.
No, the first time you definitely said unmasked.
I said unmasked.
No. But guys, rewind it. Tell me. You guys rewind it. Hit that little button back because I know you want to listen to this again and tell me if you did not hear Ryan say a mess.
No one has ever gone back in this podcast. If anything, they're listening to this at 3x and just hitting that forward ahead 30 seconds.
Are they going to talk about anything that makes sense? You just, at the beginning of this, you said, how do we usually start this? And I fear this is how we usually start this. Which is to say, we do not start this. We always drop in the middle of a conversation that we've had like a week before.
Yeah. Although we haven't had the conversation, this has just been going on for 40 plus years.
It's just things that also Siri is telling me, like, remind me when I see Ryan next, remind me to talk to him about how I want my funeral to go. I was hoping that you were going to say that you're going to put a QR code on your tombstone and it would just go to the Young Guns website.
I should. And you know
that
what?
That would be so good. Like, it was you in your prime. Like, I want people to see me in my prime when they come to my funeral.
Yeah, I was like 3% body fat. I was huge. I have a picture right there on the picture. These guys are huge.
These guys are huge.
Yeah. So I think that's what I should do. Unless Angel Fire decides that one day they're going to stop trying to reap the benefits of whatever AdSense they're running on that. I might need to download the code and migrate the site, but I want to do it with the ads. I want to bring over the ads.
Keep the ads.
Yeah.
And then people can be like, he died doing what he loved most, pretending he was the leader of his own group that he created.
No one else was involved in the creation of that. I'm like, guys, I'm the leader. All right, I'm the leader. I'm going to make a website that states that I'm the leader. And now I'm the leader.
Like, who wants to be the leader and why is it me? Who do you think would be the best?
Who is the natural fit?
The best leader.
And I'm the only person that's being pulled.
And you're looking at yourself in the mirror.
No, I'm writing the code. I'm like, that's how I write code.
Ticka, 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 ticka. Your code is just a guest book from 1999.
That you just literally had to copy and paste the code.
I remember there was short moment in time when you and I were both using MySpace. And you were helping me like trick out my MySpace and helping me find codes. And I really I was definitely too poor to buy any designer goods, but I really wanted like my MySpace page to look designer. So you were finding me like Louis Vuitton backgrounds and my entire page would be covered in just a Louis Vuitton wallpaper. I'm like, yeah, I'm really into Louis Vuitton and customized shoes, which is another thing that I briefly thought I might be into, but never did. It was pretty cool.
I can see why in 2000 and what is MySpace? 2000 and what? 4? No, 8?
Oh no. I want to say it was I think you were right before. When was the heyday?
2005 to 2008. All
right. Okay, so I do feel like that's kind of like we've talked about. We didn't get along while we were. I was going to say, well, we were siblings. Well,
we never.
Not my cup of tea. No, when we were living together, we did not get along, and it wasn't until I moved out and you went to Japan, pretty much, that we were like, okay, we can start. And I honestly think it was MySpace that helped because I was like, I can ask Ryan for help on MySpace, and he is the kind of person that he's going to be like, oh, someone's asking for my opinion. So are we best friends?
And we're still doing that. This is the 2025 version of that.
Version of us being like, should we do something?
Should we be friends online only?
Well, I keep telling Mom, whenever she's like, oh, I wish we lived closer together. I'm like, Mom, I think we're a good long distance family. And it drives her crazy. The more I say it, the more annoyed she's getting. But I'm like, I just think we're good at being online siblings.
We're better apart.
Right. So we can't just, the thing is not, 5 siblings can't all take up the energy in the room. Only one of us can do that at a time. And it's hard when we're all together. Like someone's got to take the oxygen and it's going to be me.
No, it just all explodes is what it is. It's just this massive chemical reaction and things explode.
I was talking to my kids about this. Do you remember when we used to do game nights at the house? It was after I had moved out and everything, and I'd come home and visit, and we'd get like some friends to come over, and we'd do it in teams, and we'd even like go to like Goodwill and buy uniforms for the game night. Like we took it pretty seriously. Like Phil would be there. Phil's our bonus sibling. Dallin's best friend would be there. You would invite Saunders had to be my partner a lot, which was unfortunate. I often traveled up there by myself or just with my kids. So Saunders was my partner a few times. And there was one night we were playing the game Taboo. And Taboo is the game where you have a word that you can't say, and you also have a list of other words and so you have to try to explain the word. And Dallin's best friend at the time was named Balin. And we have to leave that in because it's pretty funny. We did
talk about this before as well. It was Dallin and Balin. And the first time Dallin told me this, like I legit 7,000% thought he was lying. I'm like,
or joking.
Yeah. He's like, who's your friend? I said, he said his friend's coming over. I'm like, oh, okay. What's their name? And he's like, Balin. I'm like, yeah, right. Okay, bud. Nice try. What's her name? He's like, it's actually Balin. I'm like, no, there's no way. No disrespect to the name. It's the fact that Dallin's best. That's not Ryan and Brian. That's
no.
That's David and Ravid. No disrespect to the Ravids out there.
No, I mean, sorry to the Raven heads. No, it was so wild. And we've talked about before, our family doesn't have casual acquaintance friends. It's like if you're introduced into the family, like, okay, well, you're one of us.
Blood brothers. So, we've all pricked the thumb. We've mixed.
Yeah. Everybody's just like part of the family. And Balin was coming to family game night with Dallin, and they were a team. And we were playing Taboo, and she had the word, and she kept saying, it's like on the moon, but bad. And we were like, what? And she's like, like on the moon, but you're like, bad. And we're like, what can you extrapolate from that? And she's like, and she's getting so frustrated. It's like the moon and the stars, but you're bad. And of course, time ran out because nobody understood it. and everybody was like, what was it? She was like, it was a space goat. And the word was scapegoat. and also if someone makes a mistake around our family, we're not going to be kind about it. No. We're going to make her cry and make her leave the house.
That's her last game night.
Shame on you. But I always think it's interesting that we invited so many people into our homes and we're like, oh, you're one of us now, when there already was 5 of us.
Yeah, we need more.
We didn't need any more competing for attention or being loud in the house. And we're like, hey, Aaron, get in here. Balin, get in here. Phil, move with us. Let's go.
We need a few more of these.
Come to Thanksgiving.
I think that speaks to the sibling nature of everything. Just wanting to share with everybody. Just wanting to open it up and be like, you can have some too.
And sometimes giving people that had smaller families like the big family experience. Like that
really
was
leaning into it.
Really like it here, just so they could go home and be like, I'm so grateful I'm not a member of a big family. That same game night, Saunders, who was my partner, was trying to do, he told me it was Chinese food plus soda. And he kept saying Chinese food. I can't believe, honestly, Balin and Saunders, what were you even doing playing this game? Like Chinese food and soda, Chinese food and soda. And I didn't understand. And it ended up being rum and Coke, but he read it as ramen Coke. So first of all, like, we need to talk about the literacy of these two people that we invited.
South Ajax was just
one of whom went on to be a teacher. Am I correct?
But not English. And he's reminded daily in our group chat, because I still chat with Saunders. He's part of a four member group chat that we're in. And Dan especially reminds him every day that he's not an English teacher.
Oh, good. Daniel. That's called the blind leading the blind.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
So, with that being said, what's going on in your world? What's going on in Japan?
Well, we've legitimately not talked for a couple of weeks. We
I'm actually interested.
Yeah, we didn't put out the episode last week. We were supposed to put the episode out last week, but it was Canada Day followed by America Day a few days later.
Whatever that is.
Whatever that is, July 4th. That's what I call it.
It's called the day here that I'm the most uncomfortable.
Yeah, we dance
and I don't
really
know
close to the line.
Hands. Yeah. There's a lot of like people holding their hands over their hearts and singing patriotic songs that I'm just like, I don't know.
Just make sure you have something in your hands. Be like, I would do it.
Do a lot of that.
I'm currently holding these 2 semi-automatic rifles. I can't cover my heart.
Do I fit in yet?
I want to see like how people, I want to see the montage of all of the families, not the individuals. I want to see the families spending their first July 4th as Americans, like freshly sworn in. I want to see how they celebrate July 4th, right? Just to see like the interpretation and just to see like what things become their own family's culture from that moment forward. How much do people buy into it? I want to know if that's a thing, because it's so foreign to me. It's amazing that it's the US. It's right south of Canada where we grew up. For those of you who have never looked at a map.
Americans
are like, what? What are you talking about?
We were down at the lake earlier in the week, and so it's getting pretty close to the 4th of July. And we were at our campsite. We were down there for a few days, and a boat in front of us, they were taking the kids on their boat, like tubing and surfing or whatever. And they were playing on repeat, brought to you courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue by Toby Keith. And as soon as it ended,
is that English? What are you actually saying?
It is a song that Toby Keith wrote directly after 9/11.
Okay.
You've definitely heard it because Dad's listened to it before. It's like the part where the Statue of Liberty starts shaking her fist.
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
We'll put in the show notes again.
I love that you point down too.
Right down here. No, but I heard that song roughly 12 times in a row at the lake. And then on the 4th of July, it's almost played nonstop. It's probably played more on the 4th of July than the actual Star Spangled Banner, which is the national anthem.
Oh, thank you for telling me that. That
national anthem? Country of origin.
And you say it's Toby Keith?
Yes.
I want to be him.
It's a very aggressive American. Well, he's dead. It's a
Is
very
he really?
aggressive. Yes. Yeah. I want to say last year. It's a very aggressive American song.
Toby Keith is dead?
You can Google it. Obviously, I would know better than you as a pseudo-American.
He died February 5th, 2024. He was 62 years old.
So last year, just like I said.
What?
Yeah. I'm sure Dad was devastated because he only listens to Who's Your Daddy on the motorcycle.
Wow. Okay. That's
so
wild.
If you've just tuned in, this is the famous people who have died in the last year podcast.
That Ryan doesn't know about.
This is the death podcast. We're talking a lot about death today.
I wonder if he has a QR code on his tombstone.
And it just turns into Spotify, brought to you courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue.
His estate is just like cha-ching, cha-ching.
That's the way to do it.
That check that drops every July 11th.
Oh,
a week after.
Absolutely. It's like
Mariah Carey.
Here. Everywhere.
Mariah Carey, yeah. January 2nd. Yeah.
Anyways, you were at one point in time telling me what you guys were doing over the past 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. So we had Canada Day, which was fun because Noah loves just the eventfulness of events. Like she just gets so caught up in the hype. Like 3 days before, she was getting so stoked about Canada Day. Like, what are we going to eat? Where are we going to go? She had school. What are we going to do? What are we going to wear? Are we going to get a cake? That's what it all leads up to. And so she did finish with like, are we going to get a cake? And we dug out all of the Canada Day or the Canada shirts that we had in like Ziploc bags and in Tupperware in our closets.
Storage.
Yeah, in storage. I could have just said that, but I wanted to be very descriptive. But they all had to, I didn't have a Canada shirt, so I just wore a Raptors jersey. But Noah went to school and like told every single person that it was Canada Day. And no one knew what she was talking about. It's like you telling me about this Toby Keith song, and I'm like, cool, when
there's like a direct comparison between Canada and other countries, specifically the United States, like Canada Day versus the 4th of July are often like we have Canadian Thanksgiving first, and then we celebrate American Thanksgiving. American holidays are so based around like these mythical lore that happened where everybody's a hero, and there was lots of guns involved, and like also Americans really like came out on top of the end against everybody.
Against all odds.
Against all odds. And Canadian holidays and that kind of things are just like, and so they signed a peace proclamation and everybody got along, and that's the country we live in today. So there's just not as like, the imagery is very different for Canada.
Yeah, I always say that like probably about 95% of the stories in our family start off with, oh yeah? Like, because it's following another story that somebody has to one up, and they go, oh yeah? Well, when I was in grade 8, blah, 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 blah. And then the next person.
Or in Daniel's case, Daniel says, you don't even know. You don't even know.
Yeah, you don't even know.
That's how he tops us.
But that's how those stories, and I feel like American holidays that trail right after a Canadian holiday is that version. Oh yeah? Fireworks plus guns.
And even like the national anthems too. I was thinking about that this week. The difference between the Canadian national anthem, which is just like basically like this land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. And then the Star Spangled Banner is like,
we'll guard it.
We'll guard with our we'll guard with our hearts forever. And we'll stand on guard.
And we'll stand together. Yeah, we will stand together through thick and thin, and we will protect this land.
You hear the American one, it's like, and there were bombs and
bursting in
air. And there's a very dramatic crescendo at that part of time. That's the other thing. When I think of the Canadian national anthem, it always switches to French halfway through. I have a hard time keeping it because in our elementary school, it was kind of 50-50. We had to listen to it every day. We got to listen to it every day. And they would kind of switch between the English and French versions. So that's the way my brain hears it. It's like I can start in English, but it will always flip-flop to French without me realizing it.
Okay.
Because I'm bilingual.
Give me a line. Give me a line right now. Give me a line from the French version of O Canada.
No, I won't. Because Jonathan might listen to this, and Jonathan makes fun of the way I pronounce things.
I can tell you right now, Jonathan does not listen to the podcast. Every time he tells me that he's halfway through or just started, he's never said he's completed an episode. He's gone. He's opted. He skipped.
He's like, I started it. I haven't gotten all the way to the end yet.
I want a line from the French version.
No, I'm not doing it. No, I can't.
This is the Calling Out the Sibling podcast, where I call them out. I call Jacqueline out on things that I don't believe she's prepared for.
I said I think it. That's different than saying it, Ryan. And I feel like you should know that. I
was thinking about this today, actually. This episode is so on par with just being all over the place right now, as we just said. But I'm listening to the Rick Rubin book right now. I think it came out probably a few years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I like Rick Rubin. He's a cool guy. And I just like his level of chill. And I like to start my mornings with that level of chill. No, I like
someone who has 0% chill.
I like to start my mornings thinking I want to be the person who has that level of chill. And every so often, I try something to align myself to that.
And then you stub your toe and you punch your fist through a wall.
Yeah, through my windshield. I'm like, crap, now I gotta fix these two things. And this third thing, which is my fist. But I remember as a kid, I would watch TV, watch a movie, listen to music, and your brain is very quick.
Mm-hmm. Well, speak for yourself.
Brains are quick, and you can mirror what you're hearing within a fraction of a second afterwards. And I convinced myself that I knew the words to every song and I knew the scripts to every movie because I could follow along. Because I could say the same thing that they're saying a fraction of a second after they had said it. And this morning,
when was this?
Last week. It was last week. It's actually this morning. It was actually this morning. So I was listening to Rick Rubin. I'm driving home from dropping Noah off at school, and I found my mind just drifting. And I'm like, no, Ryan, focus on the things that are being said in this book right now, because it's the audio version of it, the audiobook version of it. And so I was trying to mirror back what he was saying right after. But then instead of it sinking into my brain, I was like, oh yeah, I remember when I was 9 years old and I convinced myself that I knew the words to every song, every book, every
savant.
And I got home and I realized I didn't listen to a single word of Rick Rubin's book.
You were too busy thinking about yourself.
How I am Rick Rubin. And I feel so relaxed.
I'm pretty special is what I'm picking up out of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moral of the story.
That's what I took away from it. So now how about you? It's been again 2 weeks since we've actually chatted. What's been going on? What do you got going on?
So we were down at the lake. That was pretty exciting. It was our dog's first time at the lake. I've never seen any creature react to water and sand the way she did, which is what she became manic and couldn't contain herself. It was just and now I run through the water, and now and now I run through the sand, and now I jump on the boat, and now I jump off the boat, and now I run down through the sand again. And everybody who was with us was getting very annoyed with her, and I was like, "There's nothing I can do about it." And then we were doing all of these, because we've been on a bunch of trips lately because my daughter is moving to Ecuador and she leaves next week. So this week is me just having an existential crisis as I try to ready a child who, I mean, she's 19, but she has no idea what she's getting herself into at this point in time. So she's like, I'll be fine. And I'm like, okay, so like, I'm afraid you're going to get an infection. And now we need to go talk to the doctor so that I can send you down there with amoxicillin and all these things that I know for a fact that she has not spent one moment thinking about. And I'm making myself sick over.
For two reasons in particular, this has not crossed her mind. One, she's 19, right?
Yeah,
so she's a kid. Two, these things are not going to happen. Like none of these things are going to, that's why she's not thinking about these things, because none of those things will happen. You're sending her with like one of those like morphine shots that she just jams into her leg like it's a world war.
I just ordered her one of those like passport carriers that only goes against your body underneath your clothes, because I'm like, I need you to have this on you at all times.
What's different with those passport carriers and just a regular passport carrier that you would wear on the outside of your shirt?
Well, you just hope that no one's reaching up on the inside of your shirt.
But what's different about the way that they're like, are they a different material?
It's like a fanny. No, it's like a fanny pack that is like lays flat against your body and it goes underneath your clothes. And this is just for my own peace of mind. I'm like, do not give your passport to anybody. You keep your passport physically on your body. You shower with your passport on. I don't care if the passport, if you're going somewhere, the passport is going with you.
If you click the affiliate link in the show notes, you can go to
my Amazon storefront where it's just the most unhinged things I've been buying for my daughter's trip to Ecuador.
I want to see the list.
Brutal. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. I just put in like a $350 order, and it's first aid kits, it's microfiber towels, it's a new set of suitcases, which makes sense. But yeah. I really we've talked about it before. I do not enjoy mismatched things. That's not something that I'm comfortable with. So if like one needs to be replaced, I have to replace all of them because I can't send her to Ecuador with mismatched suitcases.
We go on every trip. It's just a color wheel. Like that's it.
I know. I can't handle that.
I've got pink, blue, green, orange, bright orange, white, black. It's just a color wheel.
How do you remember what is yours then?
Because we put rainbow straps around the middle of them.
That's my problem, is like I needed everything to match so I can be like, oh, I have this piece already, and now I'm looking for the same one of the same color.
No, we need something that ours is usually this. Our flight takes off in 4 hours and we need a suitcase.
No, how do you function? True. How do you function? My suitcase is packed 3 weeks in advance.
No,
but my daughter is a real porter about it, which means everything is last minute. Like, throw something in a suitcase, like everything will work out. I'm like, you know why it works out? Is because I make things work out. They're not working out on their own. It's me. I'm the person.
If it makes you feel any better, the day that I moved to Japan when I was 24. No, how old was I when I came out here? 2004. So I was 23 going on 24. 22 going on 23. Something like that. I was like 22 or 23.
Era. Yeah, MySpace.
Just before peak MySpace. I went out with our cousin Matt and Dan to a bar the night before, and it was like closing time, like 3 a.m. They're like, all right, you guys got to go home. I had to be at the airport, I think at 7:30, and I hadn't packed. I actually, like, no joke, I had not packed. I got home and I was like, you know what? Let me just catch a few hours of snooze here. So I slept. I woke up and I'm like, okay, I've got to be at the airport in 45 minutes. And so I just grabbed like literally handfuls of unwashed clothes. Put them in my suitcase. Like, I'm not joking. I remember taking a pair of Jonathan's shoes because I didn't have dress shoes. And I took a pair of like Dan's khakis because I didn't have dress pants. And I took one of Dad's.
You took what from me? You took one of my shirts too.
It's your underwear. I just showed up in.
That's not mine.
So I took like Dad's tie, and so I arrived in Japan, and I remember telling them I'm like, yeah, I don't have like. They're like, yo, at work though, because I was living with 2 guys who were working for the same company. Like, the company got us the apartment, And they put you up with like, they're also making money off your rent. Really, that's really the whole company exists to make money off rent.
It's a scheme.
And so
it's
a big scheme. And so I meet these two guys that are also like living with me in that apartment, and they're like, yo, you lose like points for your like teaching profile if you don't wear a suit every day. Bare minimum, you need to wear dress pants, dress shirt, and a tie. And I'm like, okay, well, I've got some of those things, but like they're mismatched and like they're khakis with no pleats. Like, they're like, they should be pleated. I'm like, all right. I'm like, they were too big for me. It was, again, early 2000s. So everything was like triple, quadruple size. And so I was like, okay, tomorrow I'll go and buy something. And so I asked my one roommate who lived there for a while, I'm like, hey, where should I go? He's like, go to the station. It's called Kamata. Get off there and then go. And there's a shopping street. You'll be able to find what you need there. And when I moved out to Japan, like I think I told this story before, like I knew nothing. Like mom was just like, get your life together or move to Japan. And like I was like, Japan, you say? And I was like on the next flight out here.
Again, like because people that age are like, well, what could happen?
Yeah, real planner. I planned it all out. Like literally 2 months from that day, I was in Japan. And so in my brain, like I just thought like all Asian countries are the same. I was, again, 21, 22, whatever. Like very ignorant, like had never traveled beyond the US. And every time I went to the US, it's the US. So like, it's like somewhat third world country-ish, but like also with a Walmart.
It's maybe Canada.
Yeah. The next day I go out to go shopping for some dress clothes, and I show up at this shopping street. I find a store that had some like belts and ties and dress clothes or whatever. And I, in my brain, am thinking about like friends who had gone to like Thailand or had spent time in China or whatever, and you can negotiate prices. For the record, Japan is not a place where you haggle in a retail store for a better price. But I knew no better. Right. I didn't know better. So I walk in and it's this like 80-year-old guy and his wife are the ones who are in the store. And so I grab like a couple dress shirts, a couple ties, a belt, and a pair of dress pants. And I like go to the cash register, I like put it on the counter, and he looks at me and he takes out a calculator. He's like, tick, 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 tick. We've established that's my typing noise. Tick, 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 tick. And he turns the calculator around, he like slides it across the desk, and it says like 25,000 yen. It's like $250. Actually, right now it's probably like less than $200 American. And I'm like, huh. And so it begins. I take the calculator. I take the calculator off the desk. I hit clear.
You type in boobies. Like when you're
turn it around. Boobies 6969. No, I hit clear. I hit clear, and I'm like 10,000, which is like for just like less than half price. It's like $100 Canadian. And I slide it back, and he's like, he hits clear and types in 250,000, so 25,000 again. And he slides it across the test. And I'm like, ah. So I think about it, and I'm like, okay, 12,500. Type it in and slide it across the desk to him. And he's so confused by this. This is undoubtedly the first and only time this has happened to this well-respected businessman in this place in Tokyo. And he calls for his wife in Japanese. I speak zero Japanese at this point. Like, this is literally done with gestures and me going, like the annoying computer noise off of Jurassic Park.
Didn't say the magic word.
So the wife comes out, and she's clearly the shot caller in the family. She's so angry when she hears like what's going on. And so she takes the calculator and she like almost puts her finger through the calculator with the amount of force. She types in 25,000 again. And I'm like, this is unfair. You guys are teaming up on this new guy. And so I take the calculator out of her hands. I hit clear again. And I'm like, 15,000. And I slide it across the desk, and I'm in English going, final price. Final price. Like, this is it. Final. I'm standing my ground here. And she takes a look at it, and she like drops it on, she doesn't clear it. She drops it on the counter, and she does like a fine, this like hand push motion. She's like, fine. And I'm like, I beat them. I did it. I won the game. My first haggle in Asia. My first Asian haggle.
First genuine.
And so,
wow.
So I'm so proud.
Authentic Japanese experience.
Japanese experience. So the next day I'm going to work in my fresh threads that I have just haggled the day before. I get to work and I'm talking. I was like, hey guys, I didn't even know you need like suits. And they're looking at me like, who is this kid from Ajax who you've just deposited into our office? These are people who are, they're English professors. These are people who teach English. They are passionate about language teaching. And I tell them this, I'm like, I just haggled this stuff for almost half price. They're like, you what? I'm like, I haggled. You guys don't haggle? Like you guys are like, you idiot.
They're like,
this is not the Silk Road in Beijing where people are expecting a haggle. This is Japan, bro. Like what? You need to go back and apologize and pay the rest of it. And I was like, sorry, you guys, this isn't, they're like, we don't do this here, bro. And I'm like, that's me making a memo on my BlackBerry.
On your BlackBerry.
Which weren't even around at that point, but you get it.
Siri, remind me that I'm not supposed to haggle in Japan. Here's the difference between me and you is when we're in Zimbabwe, we were going to a market and we had like a guide with us the entire time. The guide was like, hey, when you go into these markets, make sure you haggle. It's part of the culture here. They're actually going to be like, they'd be offended if you don't haggle. And I was like, well, they're going to be offended because the price you say is the price I pay. I do not haggle with anyone. And so we're in this market and my daughter loves this kind of stuff. She loves to haggle. This is her dream. And everywhere we're going, they're giving me a price. I'm like, sounds great. And she's like, no. Don't give them your money. And then she's haggling. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
You sneak back and you're doubling it each time. God bless you.
Please just
God bless you.
Please just tell me how much you want me to pay. Please. We travel. You and I travel a little differently.
Yeah, established, well understood now. So that'll be, so the next time we record, she will be
Gonzo
in Ecuador.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's headed out.
Do you want to cry now or?
No, I'm good, but I'm also historically I disassociate from hard things until like well into them. So I know right now I'm in my disassociation phase. There we go. And it will come. It's just not going to happen now because right now I'm in turbo mom planning mode, which is why I'm doing this is because if I do this, then I don't have to think about it. Because I'm too busy thinking about how much stuff I need to order.
So Justin will be driving home from the airport is what I'm hearing.
And he will be crying, weeping openly the entire time.
Listening to Toby Keith.
Okay. I love when we bring it back around like that. It just really makes me happy. I have a question for you. And this one's I'm pretty excited about. So I've been seeing a lot online, Reddit. I've been seeing a lot online.
By online?
By online, I mean the only online that I recognize, which is the website Reddit.
And the Young Guns website.
And MySpace. It's like, usually it has to do with like fandoms and fandoms asking themselves, if you need to signal to someone else that you were a member of this fandom in a sentence, how would you do it? Like, if you needed to let people know that you were a fan of this specific movie, how would you do it? If you wanted people to know that you were a fan of this anime, what would you do in a sentence or less? I was thinking, if you wanted people to know, mainly people in our family, so 7 of us, that you were a member of the Porter family, how would you do it in a sentence or less that would explicitly make them understand that we are one of us, that they are one of us?
I had my answer 3 seconds into your question. Like once I want
to see if it's the same because I've been worried that it's going to be the same answer.
I would lean in and just go, booga booga.
Okay, it's different. We're good. That's a good one.
Booga 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 booga. Booga booga booga. And they'd be like, we got a porter here. We got one of us.
And then just crouch down and be like, no, not family night. Not family night. No.
So we talked about this before, but there was a game that we used to play during like our religiously connected Monday family family
Yep.
nights where there would be a game where we would hide something around the house, usually in the refrigerator crisper drawer. And as you're searching for it, instead of saying hot or cold with a louder, quiet voice, we would say booga booga or booga booga as you got closer to that thing. So like booga 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 booga, and then you find it, and then the game's over.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you start marching and you sing.
Like I want to now pull the other boys and be like, if we said this to you, what, like, would you understand? Because I want to hear if they connected as strongly with Booga Wooga as we did.
Yeah, that, or you'll have to go back to the pet episode for this. A wiener dog is stuck to Taylor.
I thought about just saying like Taylor's anal tumor, and then obviously. And if you haven't listened to that episode,
everybody scatters. That's right. Everybody scatters, and there's 7 people left just standing there going, "What did someone?
Yeah,
you guys?"
If just in case there's people who have not listened, because that was a very early episode about Homeward Bound, the movie,
and pets in the Porter household,
and pets, and you need to listen to that to understand why that would be just a real deep cut for our family. Mine was peanut butter jelly. And so if I said that, you would know what it was from, right?
Absolutely. We talked about, I think this was also, go ahead.
Are we at liberty to say? Is it still a password?
I don't know.
Still mom's Wi-Fi password, I know for a fact.
So are you going to tell the story behind it?
Well, just that we had a family code word. Well, I have another backup story for this. So that was our family code word. And the idea was that like, if someone came to pick us up from school, if like mom and dad were unable to come pick us up or something, and if they sent someone else, they would have to say the password, and then we would know that it was okay. We went to elementary school during the height of stranger danger.
Yeah.
And it was all of us kids were so scared we were just going to get picked off the street.
Kidnapped.
Like a kidnapped 24/7.
Back in a station wagon or white van.
I don't know if you remember this, but one of our family friends who also went to the same school as us had a white van. And they also had a fairly large family, larger than our family even. And they were picking up their kids one day for dentist appointments. So it was off hours for school. So it would have been like, in the middle of the day. And one of the kids saw these 7 children getting into a white van and alerted the principal, and they called the police. And it was just our family friends going to a dentist appointment. But like stranger danger was huge. And did I tell the story that there's this part of Porter family lore that dad looks exactly like a burglar in that time period?
High profile criminal.
High profile criminal. He was specifically a burglar, and he was going around and he was sticking up banks, I guess, and stealing money from banks. And we had heard the story. I don't think it was actively happening when we were kids. We just heard the story. And the story was that this man looked just like dad.
And did he also have the same name?
I don't know if that's true. We might have just made that up and to make the story sound a little spicier. I don't know if it was the same name, but I knew they looked exactly the same, to the point that the police had set up, what is it when they like cut off access to a road? What's that called?
A barricade? A blockade?
Yeah, like a blockade. They had set up a blockade, seeing dad driving his minivan, that they set up a blockade because they were going to finally catch this guy that had been stealing money from all these banks. And dad pulled up, and they were like, get out of the van. They pulled him out and everything. And he almost went to jail, except one of the bank tellers had said in the description of this man that he had beautifully manicured hands. That was one of the things
the whole
they
hand.
said about him.
From the wrist to the fingertip.
Beautiful. But dad, who worked on an assembly line for 30 years.
And also chews his nails to the bone.
Like literally nubbins for nails, dad. He honestly was missing half of his fingernails, and the ones that he did have were little nubbins, like bumpy little nubbins. And it wasn't until someone was like, no, wait, look at his hands. And dad showed them his hands, and they were like, this isn't our guy, because the guy had these beautifully manicured hands. And we had heard this story many times as kids. And so even with the peanut butter jelly password, I was very afraid that this man had turned to a life of kidnapping children and that he was going to pose as dad and come pick me up from school. And I remember crying at night, being like, this guy, he's out there, dad's doppelganger.
They never caught him.
He never caught him. And he's going to know that I go to school at Southern Park. He's going to come pick me up. And mom would be like, no, but we have this password. I'm like, what if he gives us the password? If he gives the password, I would never know to look at his hands. I don't think I ever looked at dad's hands. I actively avoided looking at dad's hands.
Because I did look at them one time. I saw them once and I never again.
As he was clipping them in the van while we all sat there. But yeah, the peanut butter jelly, it's like a joke now, but I really was terrified of being snatched off the street by dad's twin.
Well, I'm at a point in my fathering journey where I'm considering implementing a secret password in our family.
What's the password?
Peanuts, butter, and jelly. And just for the record, hold on, because that sounds horribly insensitive. I know. Listen, in Japanese, there is an alphabet called katakana, and they assign Japanese pronunciation to English words or borrowed words to map to Japanese pronunciation. So hamburger is hamburger. So that's just so you all know that I'm not making fun of anything there. That's actually.
And he has lots of friends that are Japanese, so it's fine.
Bro, I'm married to a Japanese person, all right? You can't even touch this.
Someone say that's your best friend. No, when Addie was probably about Noah's age, that was the same thing. We were like, okay, we need to talk to her about stranger danger. She's always been super friendly. And people just love to talk to her, strangers all the time. So we were like, okay, we really need to crack down on this. And so we gave her like this little lesson about it, like things that would be okay, things that wouldn't be okay. And one of the things that we used as an example, we're like, so if like someone said like, do you want to come pet this puppy and wants you to go with them, that is not okay. You do not go with that person. Literally, I kid you not, the next day we went out for ice cream. There's a man there with a puppy on his lap. And what does he say to our impressionable daughter who has just learned this? Like, oh, do you want to come over and pet this puppy? And she was like, no, I do not. We were like, oh, no, you like, don't be mean to the man. You could go pet that puppy.
It's just mixed signals.
Never mind. Whatever we told you, this is because above all, you need to be polite.
And that's why you have
go with him.
That's why you have a daughter who's like, I don't need to prepare for this, do I? Because my mom's going to come in.
Everything will turn out fine.
But you've just given me like a really great idea is after I implement the password, I'm actually going to hire some people, just neighborhood people to be like, listen, I need you to test my daughter. All right. Here's a puppy. Put this in front of her. Here's her favorite foods. Offer them to her. Here's a white van. Try to get her into it. And let's see.
Here's the password. Yeah. Tell it to her. See what happens. Really confuse them.
Yeah, just lots of confusion.
It's fine. They're going to
traumatized. I think what we're looking for is trauma.
Trauma. You're right. It is trauma. Do we want to talk about our topic today?
Yeah.
An hour in.
Let's dive into this. I have done the tiniest bit of preparation. More preparation than I normally do. Normally I do zero. So even if I open up a document and literally typed a period, it would be infinitely more preparation than I normally make for an episode. But yeah, I don't know. Like, let's kick it off.
Okay, so we should have, if people listened to the podcast last week, they should know that we are talking about the movie Willow. It's a movie that came out in 1988. Then specifically was Daniel's favorite movie for a number of years in growing up at Dreyer Drive. I watched it, and I need to tell you, I texted you, this movie holds up. I loved every minute of it. The other movies that we've done Mac and Me, and we've done Saturday the 14th. Watching those seemed like a fever dream. Watching Willow felt like a kind hug from an old friend. I loved it.
Willow is the original Jurassic Park, not for the sense, like there's no comparison in storyline. It's not about, if you haven't seen Willow, first of all, what are you doing with your life? Second of all, go and watch it and then come back. Third of all, you will see how it actually holds up. Like, you look at You watch the original Jurassic Park now, and like, sure, there are probably a couple things you're like, yeah, we've come a long way since then, but it still holds up. Like, you can go back, and that was so far ahead of its time as Willow was in 1988, right?
Yeah, and I did like watching it. I was like, oh, I can see some DNA that other movies had lifted. Like, it was very Lord of the Rings to me too, right? That, and as someone who watches Lord of the Rings all the time, I was like, this, like, obviously, like, little people, but like the journey with a group of friends, kind of feeling like it's very green and lush. Like, a lot of it reminded me of those movies as well. So there is, I think a lot of movies kind of cribbed from this, which is interesting to me because I bet they wouldn't admit to it. I bet they wouldn't be like, yeah, some of our greatest inspirations were 1988. It's Willow.
Really?
Like, I just don't think that many people watched it. Like, Justin, I polled my in-laws and they had never watched this. I made Justin watch it with me and he was like, what is this movie that you're watching?
Really? This isn't, I just assumed everybody was dialed in to cinema.
On Willow.
Like, we
have you seen the meme that was like, there's no bond greater than that between a millennial and the one VHS tape their family had for no reason? And I feel like Willow very much was this. Yeah, we owned Willow.
Okay, yeah.
Either we owned Willow or Annie Gill owned Willow and we borrowed it indefinitely.
Or we just rented it and never returned it, which is probably, that's actually what it was. We rented it for 99 cents.
Especially if it was under Daniel's name.
Dan is still accumulating late charges as we speak.
So do you want to do fun facts about Willow and how it got started, or talk about the plot first?
Go ahead and start with the plot. I'll jump in when there's things that I want to add, but go ahead and give like the overview of the plot, and then we can go into some fun facts and
because I got some fun ones,
trivia-esque elements of this. And then I want to make sure we carve out just the tiniest amount of time for the end credits. Okay.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. I can't wait to tell you about our hometown connection with Willow.
What?
Yeah, we've got one.
No.
Yeah, we do. Okay.
I almost want to start with that. I don't know if I can wait.
So Willow, for the uninitiated, is a movie about a little person who lives with other little people, and there is a baby that is found in their river. It actually starts out with, we find out that there is this sorceress named Babmorda, and there is a prophecy that says that a baby is going to be born, and that baby is going to topple her reign and become the new queen. And because of that, she imprisons all the pregnant women. And anytime a baby is born, they check because it's supposed to have a specific sign on its body that lets you know that it's the chosen one.
If you need like a modern day comparison to like what that would be, just it's the US right now. That's just basically where we're at.
Too soon. So at the very beginning, a woman gives birth to this very specific baby, and she begs the midwife to take her away before the sorceress can get a hold of her. And the midwife agrees. And like the entire beginning credits are this midwife just like slogging through swamps, going through forests, walking through deserts with this baby. The sorceress has these scary wolves that are like warthog pigs. They're terrifying. What are they called? The Nockmar hounds. They're very scary.
They are terrifying.
As a child,
to this day.
as a child, I was very scared, and they continued to be very scary to me. My youngest was watching with me and was like, I don't want to watch this baby get hurt, and I don't want to watch this scary pig.
I told Noah that Aaron opted out of the experience as we tried for our third time to watch it together. And she was like, I'm with Aaron. She's like, I don't want to see the baby get hurt. Like, Daddy, can we watch something else?
Yeah. He does not like seeing babies get hurt. I mean, who does really? Like a lot of people like.
Is there anybody who's like, can we just watch a baby getting hurt?
Baby get hurt, and the wolf eats the baby, right? Oh no. So these hounds catch up with her, and so she sets the baby off down the river, and that's where Willow and his family find the baby. The baby is called a daikini baby, which means it's a full-size baby. It is not a little person baby.
Yeah, not a little person. This is one thing that, like, there are a few things. I sat down thinking that I was going to be doing like a Mac and Me, like trying to find all of like the really funny things that don't hold up. And like, I struggled, which is why I stuck around for the end credits, and which is where I found where it redeemed itself. But there's a few like massive things where I'm like, really? Like these dogs can trace the scent of this woman over months to track her down to the river, and they opt to eat her while she places the baby into a floating bit of grass.
Yeah, she gets eaten.
And she sends the baby. They are mauling her while the thing that they have been looking for months is 10 feet away, working its way down the river. That was one thing where I was like, come on.
I said they were scary. I didn't say they were smart.
George and Ron, you guys couldn't have pieced together something a little bit. But anyways.
So Willow and his family find this baby together. He has 2 children that are with him when they find it, and a wife named Kaya. I need to tell you, I was telling Justin, I was probably 5 or 6 watching this when we were kids. To me, Kaya was the most beautiful person I'd ever seen in my life.
She was up there for me as well.
like I just felt like there was like something like as a child that I was like, I trust that woman. Like that woman would take care of me. And I'm telling Justin, I was like, I used to think she was the most beautiful woman. Justin's like, that woman there. And I was like, okay, well, first of all, justice for Kaya. But I still like, she's beautiful. And so he brings this baby to basically like the council of, I want to keep saying a shire. It's not a shire, but that's the best I can do with this. It's like the little town that they live in.
Yes. After one of the warthog, pig, wolf dogs makes its way to that shire, and eats or attacks like baby bed without the baby in it, and they're like, it must be here looking for a baby. We need to find out what baby.
Willow, we can't keep this baby. We've got to find a daikini, a regular sized person that can take it. And so they kind of assemble together like the high councilmen.
They're just high. They were celebrating Canada Day a little
like a councilman and like a warrior, and then Willow's best friend, and they're going to journey on to find if they can find a daikini to give this baby to. As they're traveling, they run into it's a group of like wooden cages that are suspended in the air, and who is in one of them but our good friend that I can't remember his name.
Val Kilmer?
Val Kilmer. Mad Mardigan. There you go. So R.I.P. It's Val Kilmer. He's playing a warrior named Mad Mardigan who has been arrested and left for dead in one of these cages. And he's telling them, like, if you let me out of this cage, I'll take the baby. And everybody else in the group.
The plan is essentially just go to where like the daikini are and just give the baby to the first one.
I guess like
and
any
whisper peanut butter and jelly.
And you're like peanut butter and jelly, and you're like, yes, this is one of us. And so Mad Mardigan just wants to get out of the cage. The other little people that are with Willow, they call them Pecks, but I get the sense that Peck is not a nice name for them. Like it seems like a slur.
Yeah, I actually had the note in my my Notion notes that I was taking as I was watching the film, and I had, why did the word peck feel like a slur? But
I definitely, it's the spirit with which it was said.
But so here's, so I have another note here that actually says that in the film, they're called Pecks, and it was a made up slur that kids repeated with glee in playgrounds after seeing the movie. Warwick Davis even said that he'd have fans coming up to him yelling Peck as a fond reference. It's an oddly specific bit of Willow lingo that is both endearing and slightly cringe rewatching it as an adult, because it is one of those things you're like, is this a real slur that I should be offended by?
Like, I know. Like, am I allowed to say this?
I had to stop. I literally had to stop and be like, is Peck a slur? And it was like, no, it's a made up slur. I'm like, okay, so we can use it, right? But aren't all slurs made up?
I'm saying it all the time. I guess that's true. It's just the spirit with which you use slurs that give, okay, whatever.
Oh yeah, that's getting cut out.
So finally they do decide to let Mad Mardigan out of the cages, and is it just as they let him out, an army rolls by, and it's an army that Mad Mardigan used to be a member of that he has left, and he sees like his old friends, and it makes it clear that he was not a good guy while he was a member of this army, and they're all kind of making fun of him.
Yeah, his good buddy Eric. Not Eric. It was Eric. I watched it with the subtitles, so I know Eric. Okay. AIRCK in the subtitles was the spelling. And they kind of like reminisce, like, oh, like, it's good to see you again, buddy. And then Eric does eventually reveal, like, you can never fight with us, you scumbag, basically. Okay.
So Madmartigan continues on, and the other members of the party that had the baby talk Willow into being like, this is our only hope. He'll help us find Daikini's. And they decide that they're all going to go back to the Shire. And Willow is going to continue on his own with his one friend goes with him.
Yep.
And that they're going to try and talk Madmartigan into taking them to more Daikini so that they can give the baby up. And at first, Madmartigan's absolutely against it, and then they slowly wear him down over time. The rest of the movie is just like, it's a hero's journey, right? Like they are sent to a number of people that are said to help them, or if they make it to a castle, that the people of the castle will help them, and they keep turning up with really dead ends along the way. And Willow, who is training to be a sorcerer, it turns out that he had like the power within him all along to fight the actual end boss sorcerer. Along the way, though, the sorcerer's daughter, who is a princess, is one of the people looking for this baby to destroy the baby.
Yeah, as the bad guy on behalf of the queen, she's like a warrior.
She is the bad guy
She's,
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And her name is Sorsha, and Sorsha and Madmartigan over time, of course, fall in love. And, the end of the movie, I remember the sorcerer putting that baby in the plate and doing the spells over it is so familiar to me. I must have watched Willow 100 times because all of this was so familiar. And Willow is able to defeat the sorcerer, and actually, Madmartigan and Sorsha keep the baby, and which makes sense because that's how she's able to defeat the sorceress and whatever. And Willow goes home to his beautiful Kaya, the most beautiful person I've ever seen.
Who also cut her hair to give to him to protect him. And even through all of this fighting, and there are those giant goblin, like monster giant things. He's fighting trolls. This guy,
dragons.
Dragon. He doesn't lose the locks in his belt, his waistband the entire time.
And it's like his love for Kaya is the real magic that he needed all along. I would say. Yeah. And then also Kaya looks great with a bob. She can pull off anything.
Double tap that.
Stop. Okay, so with that being said, now I've got some information about Willow, and a lot of it is like will blow your mind.
Let me go through and start crossing off because
you have.
I also was like, I can't show up to this one like I show up to all of them, because this was legit one of my favorite movies as a kid. To just show up and be like, tell me more about these siblings that did this thing. This is me also flexing a little bit of my muscle, but you might have Willow. Some of these, if not all of them. So go ahead.
I watched this it was, how sometimes old movies, they would have like a behind the scenes featurette of like the filming of that one. There was one with Ron Howard and George Lucas, who were the directors of this. That was really good. And they also, Lucasfilm, the website Lucasfilm was like, forget everything you ever knew about Willow, and like, here's the true story of Willow, which was really interesting.
Really?
Yeah. So the idea for Willow came to George Lucas while he was filming Return of the Jedi. It was originally called Munchkins. And the person who plays Willow, what's his name? Give me a second.
His real name?
Willow's real name.
Warwick Davis.
He actually played an Ewok in Star Wars,
Wicked.
And that's how they knew him. And he was
I'm not saying Wicked. I'm saying he played the Ewok Wicked.
Wicked. Plus, we don't just say Wicked like that anymore. It's
like it is back in 2001.
So he was only 18 during the filming of Willow. George Lucas said like he wanted to do the movie earlier, but he really needed like special effects to catch up to what he had in his mind. His
imagination.
Which is very funny, which is really funny to me, because a lot of it is really good. Some of the special effects, when you think of like, it's like you said, Jurassic Park was filmed 5 years later, and compare the dragons in Willow to the T-Rex in
7 years
Park.
later.
93.
Wasn't it 95?
No, it's 93.
Oh, 5 years later? That is insane.
5 years later. That's what I'm saying.
Generations ahead.
So George Lucas is like, wow, the special effects really need to catch up. And Steven Spielberg is like, okay, bud, I've got some, we got some catching up to do.
He's petting real dinosaurs that they birthed from Ember.
So
Amber?
Amber, there you go.
I said Ember.
They
like
gathered together 225 little people, and in the making up they were like, it was really hard to find that many little people because it's not like they have agents, it's not like every little person is like, hire me for a movie. And so it was actually the biggest gathering of little people since The Wizard of Oz, which is interesting because he wanted to call it Munchkins originally.
Yeah.
The movie was made for $35 million, and it was hard to get that money. George Lucas wanted Ron Howard to direct it, but the only way that they could get it made was as George Lucas put up half the money, and then MGM put up the other half. It ended up grossing $137 million, and incidentally, it did extremely well in Japan. Which
wow.
I'm like, okay,
I didn't
so
see that in my notes, which is weird.
Go poll some people that you know and be like, did you see Willow when you were a kid?
I'm going to do that on TikTok. I'm going to be like, do you know Willow? They'll be like, peanut butter jelly.
So they actually went through 7 different versions of the script before they landed on this one, which is great. They wanted Val Kilmer from the jump, but also John Cusack also wanted to be Mad Mardigan, which they made the right choice, right? They made the right choice. Val Kilmer is Mad Mardigan.
I have it in my notes. Like, they could not have cast a better actor for Mad Mardigan in that movie. Like, Val Kilmer was spot on.
Yeah, he's the best. And I think that's why Daniel was so obsessed with this movie, is because I think he was obsessed with Mad Mardigan as a character, and he was obsessed with Val Kilmer as an actor.
Mad Mardigan, as well as Casey Jones from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
He is Casey Jones. If you're ever like, if people are like, I actually don't know Daniel, like, what's he like? He's Casey Jones, and he's
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
He's gonna hit some stuff with a hockey stick.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer actually met and married his wife Saoirse after this movie.
Sorry, what?
They got married. Yeah, they were married for 8 years, and they ended up divorcing, but he never married again and never dated again, by his own admission, and always said like she was kind of the one who got away for him.
That is
they were married.
Truest of true love stories I have ever heard.
When I was watching, because that came up in that behind the scenes thing, but the worst part about that behind the scenes things is they piped in, when they pipe in part of the trailer for it. And one of the taglines for this movie was a movie about little people that even big people want to see.
Oh my gosh.
Which probably is one of those things that they need to take out of that YouTube video, because it does not read well in the year of our Lord 2025.
That does not hold up. That does not stand the test of time, like the movie.
Unlike the movie, it does not stand the test of time. What did I say? One thing that really struck me too was when you're watching these movies, our brains are like ruined by the idea of movies today, where everything is a huge production. It's CGI. There's in the end of Lord of the Rings, which I'm bringing up again, like the final battle scene has 45 million people in it. And you watch, one thing I really liked about Willow is like the final battle scene is like 30 people. And they're all people you've seen before throughout the movie. Yeah. And I liked as kids, you were really able to get like your arms around a movie like that, because the scale wasn't so intensely huge and it wasn't such a huge production. Even like the fight scenes, they're kind of lethargic sometimes. Like, they're not moving super fast. They're just getting it done. They're actors. We're not getting crazy here.
The other criticism I have of the movie is, so there's 2 pieces that are, I think, linked to what you're talking about. One, I hate the soundtrack for Willow. Like, are you serious? I love the soundtrack. It's a little bit too like upbeat. Like, it's a little bit like river dance-ish. And
it's very Lord of the Rings again. Like it sounds
because they don't have that like epic buildup that you get with like modern day movies. Like if you look at like
I go straight into
they needed John Williams on this one. That's my and it was the London Orchestra, I believe, or some type of, it was like some, the name has London and Orchestra in the name that actually.
But it was still someone big. I believe it was James Horner.
Yes, but it was performed by the London Orchestra. And it just didn't have that like epic feeling that I believe it could have had John. I wonder if John Williams has a version of this in the archives that he was like, you know Probably. What, let me do this. I can do this.
And like it becomes like it wins all the awards.
Yeah, like I think that part, like I think could have been better. The other thing that I realized from movies from that era, there's no room for anything to breathe. Meaning that like every cut in Willow, it's like cut line. It's like as soon as the cut happens, it's like the actor's talking, and there was no room for stuff to breathe. It was just a little thing that I noticed. Like there was no like build in or build out of the scene. It was literally,
they didn't have time for that. And a lot of times they were just scene wiping into the next scene. Did you notice that would like scene wipe across, star wipe?
I have, where is it? The scene transitions, when they weren't just a straight up cut, were the inspiration behind PowerPoint transitions. Cause it's like literally like wipe right, wipe left. And the one that's like the fade from middle out or fade.
Like a Star Wars.
But Star Wars has some of those as well. So I could see that Lucas is like, let's just reuse it.
This has nothing to do with anything. Remember when the episode 1 came out and we wanted to see it at midnight, but mom was like, I'm not driving you to the movie theater at midnight. And so I went with your friends, and my friends and your friends went together, and we walked to the movie theater at midnight. And like, we didn't live near a movie theater. How many kilometers would you say we were from the Ajax movie theater?
3 kilometers. I'm going with 3.
Mine says 3 miles, and I was right.
4.7 kilometers.
Okay, so let's round up to 5 miles. 5 kilometers.
It is a 1 hour, 3 minute walk.
Okay, so I think that's more important. So it took us an hour to walk there. And then when it was done, which it was like 3 hours long, we're walking home at 3 a.m. through the main streets of Ajax.
We got home at like 4:35 a.m.
That was wild.
That was wild.
Anyway, that was what a wild couple of kids we were. So here's where our Ajax connection is going to come in.
Hit me.
First of all, it was nominated for 2 Oscars for visual effects, which is funny. Actually, before that, visual effects, speaking of the dragon, do you know what the dragon was called?
No.
So the dragon is called the Ebersisk. Sorry. The dragon is called the Ebersisk. Why do you think his was called the Ebersisk? So
I know this because that's not the only one in the movie. It's because of the movie critic.
Yeah. Siskel and Ebert.
Yes.
So it was a 2-headed dragon that was very ugly, named after them because George Lucas had too many run-ins with Gene Siskel specifically, not liking his Star Wars movies. So he named it after. And then, yes, there's the general who's the one that wears the bone mask.
What was his actual name?
It's like General Kale or something like that.
Kale, yeah.
And that was also named after a movie critic that he didn't like. Okay, sorry, back to it. So they were nominated for 2 Oscars for visual effects and sound effects. Willow also spawned a board game, a video game, obviously a television series that did not do very well in 2022. It has been wiped from the internet forever. I did not even get a chance to watch it before it was wiped. And a novel. The novel was written by one Drew Weyland. Where did Weyland live? Oshawa, Ontario.
No!
Oshawa, Ontario. And
wow.
When I found that, I did say out loud, what? in that exact inflection too. What?
We talked about the effects being wild for 1988, but I'm going to retract that in my notes because knowing that Jurassic Park was it felt very much like the stop motion and like the monsters felt very much like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in Ghostbusters.
I believe isn't Ghostbusters the exact same year?
It's got to be around the exact same time because that like
87, 88.
That weird smooth but still choppy stop animation But anyways, so I'll leave it in my notes that it was mind-blowing in 88 as a 6-year-old child, but knowing that I was just around the corner from Jurassic
These
Park.
are real dragons and real pig dogs.
I actually want to get to the pigs. Do you know that the dogs were actually all Rottweilers?
Oh, that's mean to Rottweilers. As someone who owns our beloved Taylor with the bum anal tumor. I didn't even say bum and anal. I'm sorry. I know I said I was finished with my criticism, but here's one more. The ritual at the end, it took a long time. Like, yeah, the last act it's a good half an hour.
They start before sundown. They are still going the next morning, and the queen looks like she's been through it by the end of it. Like, I remember how terrifying she was as a kid. Like, her like bloodshot eyes and like very pale, like dark purple, like rings underneath her eyes or whatever. Very scary, but it took a long time. Like, the amount of time that they had to come up with. Well, it's
because Willow had to turn Roselle into all those other animals.
And then they had to dig holes like gophers and hide horses and an army underground. But that's beside the point. That's the one of the major plot holes, pun fully intended. So I want to get to a couple more things. I'm actually going to get into the the credits at the end.
Okay.
So the reason I actually stuck for the credits was I was like, who did the music? Because I just felt like it was a mismatch for the whole thing. And I was quickly distracted when I saw some of my favorite LinkedIn profile job titles in the credits. So I chose 4 that I really want to highlight in this one. And I'll go in order of like kind of impressive to like, are you kidding me? The first was they had a magic consultant that worked on the film.
I would want
Where
to
do you
that
go?
right then.
Where do you even
Chris
go? Yeah, exactly. Where do you
Blaine.
go? Yeah, I was gonna say David. Where do you go for that?
No.
How do you find the magic consultant?
Do you remember that video? It was like seriously one of the first YouTube videos that you ever showed me.
The David Blaine.
What the F? David Blaine?
Yeah. What the F? It was
Ryan, I still say out loud to myself, what the F, David Blaine? Like, I'll be driving. Someone will make it like a bat, cut me off, and I'm like, what the F, David Blaine?
It was so good. Putting in the show notes. That's going in the show notes. Has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about.
Right here in the show notes.
So magic consultant. There was also an animal arranger.
Arranger or handler?
Animal arranger.
Okay.
Check the credits. So it is there. And that might make more sense when I hit you with a little piece of trivia in a second.
So it's not just me lining up my little ponies on my dresser.
No,
like, I'm an animal arranger.
There was a prosthetic foam supervisor. Like, what?
It's not real foam, it's prosthetic.
Prosthetic foam, to the extent that you need a supervisor. That means that other people were doing something and there was a person there who was the supervisor of that thing.
Well, they did it. They were on their own before, but there was too many mix-up with that prosthetic foam. And he was like, hey, you know what?
Can somebody get a prosthetic foam supervisor here? And the one that really jumped out to me as like, you've made it, my friend. When you were growing up and people were criticizing your career choice, the fact that you are in the credits of this movie tells me if you dream it, you can do it. And the job title that sparked that thought for me, POSSUM TRAINER.
No, where was a possum?
Go and look at the credits. The POSSUM TRAINER is in the credits.
I did not see a single possum in that movie.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
In Willow.
When is there a possum in Willow?
Let me Google it.
ChatGPT.
Roselle was a possum.
Okay, she was a possum for 3 seconds.
That required a trainer.
Need a wrangler for that. Okay, what
trainer.
about like the ostrich? She was an ostrich.
Didn't need a trainer.
She wasn't just a wrangler.
Didn't need a trainer.
That possum wasn't just there doing stuff on its own. It needed to be trained to do that.
That effect in itself, that morphing effect, was the thing that like blew 30 million of their budget. Like that, like morphing from one thing into another, that wasn't happening in the 80s. And George Lucas, that's the part in particular, I believe, that was like George Lucas waited like 16 years for this. Right?
And he was spending like $300,000 a day on special effects. Like, it was expensive.
POSSUM trainers.
It was POSSUM trainers. It always made me sad, though, and it still made me sad to this day when I watched it, that Rizal thought she was a young woman, but she had been an animal for so long that when she gets turned back into a woman, she's an old lady. And that always made me really sad.
And she even says something like, how long has it been?
Because originally she tells him, like, she tells Val Kilmer, like, I'm a beautiful young woman, and like, turn me back into a human and you'll see. And then she gets turned into a human and she's an old lady. And
her response is like me anytime I wake up from a nap. I'm like, how long? How long have I been out?
How long?
How long has
Why do I feel so old? What are these lines on my face? It's just my pillow.
So a couple other things that I want to make sure we hit while we're talking about Willow. You know that the baby, Alora, it was twins.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Well,
how would I know that?
while we're on that topic, so the baby was actually, they wanted to, so the twins didn't have that full set of red curly hair that Alora has in the film. And of course, it plays no part, has no significance, but they decided like this baby needs a curly red hair, just one curly red hair,
just one curl on the top,
a head of curly red hair. And they actually so they make this wig, and it was a baby, so they're like, we need something that's like not going to do permanent damage to its head for all time. So they actually used syrup as adhesive for that wig on the baby's head.
Sticky and uncomfortable. When Justin, because I was like, Justin, come watch this movie with me. And it was just starting. And he said, why is that baby wearing a wig? And I was like, it's not wearing a wig.
Oh, he called it. He's like, why did they stick it to her head with syrup?
And I was like, so annoyed about it. I was like, that baby, that's just this baby's hair. It's not wearing a wig. Joke's on you.
All right. So a few other things. Let me find the one about the pigs that I wanted to share with you. They called it the pig disaster because there's a scene at the end where the witch, the queen, she turns the army into pigs, and she believes that's how she was going to defeat them. And so she casts a spell, turns the entire army into pigs. So to film this, they had real pigs, prosthetic pigs, and half human pigs. They had pigs. They had pigs everywhere.
Wait, what do you mean by half human pigs? I feel like that you need to explain that. So just like people wearing like pig snouts saying oink oink?
Yes, I like people I think that were wearing the costumes of pigs to make the half part. So Warwick Davis actually mentioned that the pigs caused mayhem on the set because
mayhem?
Oh, that was good. But that was good. Mayhem on the set because I guess when you get that many pigs together in a closed off area, they were getting a little frisky with each other. And it resulted in almost unusable takes during the filming because the pigs were just humping each other through the filming of this scene where they're supposed to be. And now
you're so smart.
So a couple other things, some Easter eggs, so monstrous Easter eggs. So the two-headed dragon, the design of that two-headed dragon that we already talked about, that was supposed to be the
Siskel and Ebert.
Siskel and Ebert. So the design had a joke. Ron Howard, he couldn't find a cameo for his actor brother, Clint Howard, who pops up in almost all of Ron's films. So he joked that the part of the face was modeled after his brother.
What a sibling thing to say.
So yeah, we couldn't fit you, but well, you're one of the heads.
It's like nowadays, like my kids I know are sending pictures of like ugly dogs to each other and being like, oh, how did they get a picture of you?
So a few other miscellaneous tidbits. George Lucas has been known to like pepper Easter eggs in his films. For example, like using the same stock scream effect in all of his movies. They have that in Willow in 3 specific parts of the movie. So like when a wagon flips over during the snow chase, the brownies accidentally trigger this trap. And anyways, there's some the same sound effect used over and over again. Some fans actually discovered that Willow syncs up in a very odd way with Pink Floyd's album, The Wall. So similar to The Wizard of Oz and Dark Side of the Moon. So like when the baby is floating on the river, it appears right as a baby's cry is heard on the album. And the high Aldwin's finger wiggle seems to match a keyboard solo as part
finger
of
wiggle.
the finger wiggle. So anyways, if you want to kill an afternoon, there you go. Put on Pink Floyd.
I do. I don't have anything going on.
Go back and do it again.
I'm going to kill an afternoon.
And I think you already talked about this, but Ron Howard actually turned down directing the return of Willow, which was going to be the second part, or the what do you call it? Sequel.
Sequel. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and apparently, as this will be the last thing I say, but to kill time on set, the little people would sing like musical numbers from Snow White as the dwarfs, as they like marched around set. This is true. This is actually something. It's documented.
Bless them. Moral of the story: Willow's a great movie, and you should watch it.
It holds up. Like, it really does. Like I said, I went into this being like, I can't wait.
Dialed in.
The brownies too, like just the fact that like the brownies, the not the little people, but like the tiny people,
extra little people,
they were so perfect as well. Like their comedic timing, and like the way that Lucas does a really good job of like incorporating that into the movies. The one thing that I don't remember as a kid, if you look at other things that Lucas has done and like the extreme merchandising of everything, like I don't remember there being like Willow Lego, Willow toys, Willow costumes. There was the Willow video game. What would the
toy be? Like a baby?
A wig with some syrup adhesive. The warrior pigs.
I mean, here's the thing. Other than Kaya, who is, we've established, the most beautiful person on earth, it's kind of an ugly movie. Does that make sense? Like, obviously Val Kilmer is, and he's beautiful, but like the sets and everything, the dragons are ugly, the wolves are ugly. So it's like, it's not, I think that's probably why it wasn't as merchandisable.
And the trolls. That's the one thing I forgot to mention, because the trolls were, I figured that's where they ran out of budget. They're like, all right, and we forgot the trolls. We don't have any. There's no budget left for trolls. Like, quick, go to Byway
Clint,
or
get
local.
Out there.
They're like, go buy a gorilla costume and we'll just get some face paint on you, because they were really bad. It was like literally a cheesy gorilla costume and just like face paint. Face paint,
and it's like, and the costume, like the hairline was off. It's like really, if you think of a gorilla costume with a really bad hairline.
And that's in the scene where like right next to it is their two-headed like dragon monster, whatever, like Willow's spell that went horribly wrong and almost killed him.
Yeah, I'm definitely working this movie back into my family's repertoire. I'm going to make them watch it as part of like the movies that we have on standby when we're bored. I'm bringing Willow back, like justice for Willow.
Yeah, it was like, it's a really good movie. Like I said, I couldn't find a bunch of stuff to make fun of it as I was going through it. And instead I found the credits and I was like, okay, well, we can work with Prosthetic Foam Supervisor, Animal Arranger, Magic Consultant, and POSSUM Trainer.
Especially the POSSUM Trainer.
Especially. And now what I didn't do is what I should have done is gone onto LinkedIn and see if I can find. Still there? Yeah, see if I can find them. So
show notes.
So yeah, that's what I got.
That's Willow. I went to go see if I could find some reviews of like how did people like this in the past. But the problem with that is that a lot of the reviews are mixed up with the Willow, the TV series that came out for a while, reviews. And all people did was complain about it being too woke, which is probably like my number one most hated criticism. Because like, say what you mean. There were gay people in the new Willow, and it's like, okay, so instead of saying it's too woke, just say you didn't want to see gay people on screen. Like, say what you mean, so we know what a terrible person you are, and you don't have to hide behind regular words like woke.
Yeah. The one review that I thought was interesting, and it might be true for both you and I, but it was US Today. So it did have a lot of like, hey, it's predictable. It's the same fairy tale, but told worse than the actual fairy tale.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, like, okay. Well, why would you make a fairy tale from scratch then?
Okay.
Love
to see it.
But US Today actually had what I would say is a charming review of this, but they did mention in their review that Willow could inspire kids to fall in love with movies. And I think if we want to wrap it all up with a bow, like I always do at the end, this is one of the movies that I would say actually like brought the Porter family together at 26 Dreyer Drive around a rented VCR and a movie with an astronomical amount of late charges accruing on it to fall in love with movies. So I would say like we're a pretty movie-oriented family. We watch a lot of movies. There are always movies playing in the house. I don't think it's something unique to the Porter family, but to this day, like in our house, Fridays and Saturdays are movie nights. We do like 2 movie nights a week. We watch these things. We enjoy consuming movies. We're not a real gaming family, but movies were the things that brought us together. And maybe Willow was one of the ones that sparked a little bit of that for us.
Well, at least for Daniel.
He's still out there, which is the one braid.
Oh, I'm Jedi braid. Okay, perfect. Unhinged text of the week.
Yeah.
Now that
also falls on your shoulders.
Past, and now that we've blown past everybody's attention span for us.
Now that there's literally no one else listening.
But I'm gonna listen, and I'm gonna go on a real long walk, and it's gonna be great.
For us.
Actually, this one is it was just barely. It's in our Porter Kids thread, and you sent a picture of the most adorable dragon fruit on a leaf, a tiny little dragon fruit. And you said, big day over here today. I think our first dragon fruit might be coming in. And I said, eek, it's so cute. And you said, apparently the flower blooms for only one night, according to my homie Chat GPT, which we need to talk. And you said, and apparently I might need to pollinate it by hand. I said, the way I would stay up all night long waiting for that. Also just realized I've never tried dragon fruit. Daniel said, I want my own dragon fruit. You said, Jacqueline, you've never tried a dragon fruit? It's not an ingredient in one of your Greek yogurt, soy sauce, Captain Crunch with sprinkles, low-fat vanilla Coke smoothies? And I said, well, obviously not, as stated, a Greek yogurt, soy sauce, Captain Crunch with sprinkles, low-fat vanilla Coke smoothie. There's no dragon fruit in that ingredient list. And you said the garnishes aren't included in the naming convention. And I said, my garnish is actually a Big Mac.
That was it.
And I'm not joking. My garnish is a Big Mac.
The dragon fruit, though, it should be. I think it might be tonight. We checked last night, and it looks like it's almost ready. It might be tonight. It only happens once at night, and then just for a very short period of time.
Are you gonna stay up and see if it happens?
Yeah, and then apparently I have to be ready with a Q-tip to pollinate it by hand to like dust one of the male parts of the plant, and then deposit that into one of the female parts of the plant to then hopefully get a dragon fruit on the other side of this.
Okay, so just have the talk with Noah tonight.
Well, all right. Well, let me show you.
So basically it's like this.
But with people.
And hopefully you get a dragon fruit at the end.